One sentence summary: Perseus wants revenge on his uncle Hades for killing his family, adopted family, so gets involved in an adventure to kill a big old beast. Could you beat the villain? So Hades is the main villain here, and he's a sad, raspy Ralph Fiennes, and he has several undefined powers. He kind of turns into bat monsters, and he vomits superpowers into people's faces and stuff. And it's said that Hades is feeding off of the fear of humans, whereas the other Olympians feed off their kind of worship. But Zeus manages to take out Hades after Hades has been weakened without any additional power from people like, yay, Zeus. So maybe Zeus could have taken him out the whole time, and that's just what they should have done. So I would ask Zeus, can you hit him with a lightning bolt, see what happens, and we'll go from there. Anywho, how would you improve this film? I don't know why this film was made when the 1981 version exists, and having seen that a little while ago, it feels more fun. It really does. And there are so many more Greek myths that you could have adapted, so why not do something new? In the opening narration, we learn that the Kraken is the son or creation of Hades, therefore not a Titan who came before the Olympians. And in the story, we learn that Medusa was turned into a monster by one of the Olympians, I think it was Athena, therefore is not a Titan as well. So there is no clash of Titans in this film. Bullshit. What is Perseus, the only Australian in Greece? And I wasn't paying particular attention to it, but it just, at the end of the film, I was like, that's weird. How come there are like mostly Caucasian people in this film when like Andromeda, I'm pretty sure in the myth, was a princess from like Ethiopia or the equivalent of. So like, this was a good opportunity to have a diverse cast of people, and they pretty much didn't. Why bother with that scene where Perseus is a little kid? Just skip for him being a baby to an adult. And also when it skips from him being a baby to a kid, there's no however many years later, but when it skips from him being a kid to an adult, I think it says like 12 years later. So why no text on one of them? Doesn't make any sense. A, Perseus' dad does not like the gods, so there's that. Why is he very impressed with the statue of Zeus then? B, why does the statue of Zeus have Liam Neeson's face? So the sculptor obviously knew what Zeus looked like in real life. Okay. But why is he wearing a toga when the gods in the film wear like some weird lens flary armour that I did not like? Why hire Danny Houston, a known actor, for about 3 lines? I think he was playing Poseidon. And then maybe Luke Evans wasn't famous at the time, but no, I think he was in like actual films afterwards. But why have someone play the line of Apollo, probably, and say like 2 things and then never be in the film again? Just give that line to Danny Houston, because he's already a famous actor. Perseus is the only survivor of Hades' attack thing, and some soldiers bring him with them to Argos, which is not where the story is set, but whatever. And then they're like, oh, what do we do with him? Well, we'll let the palace work out what to do with him. Why would they? He's just some random guy. Someone says to Zeus, there's a demigod in Argos, and Zeus is all like, that's impossible. And then it's like, he's one of yours. Like, come on, Zeus. There must be one of your kids in every town, alright? That's just how you roll. Also, Zeus knew that Perseus' mum, whose name escapes me, had a child. And he also, it's implied that Zeus protected the kid because a storm pushed that fisherman right to where the coffin was floating in the sea, so it's involved. So after that point, did Zeus just stop paying attention to this kid being alive? It seems like he did. Yeah, Zeus is stated to be the father of humanity in the film, and the humans know about the gods. And then Hades says, whilst looking at Perseus, your father. And everyone just assumes, and is rightly so, that they're talking about it in a biological sense, not a poetic, he's the father of all of you humans. Weird that. Why did they bother making that colourful cast of soldiers that Perseus adventures with? Because it's not like this is a story about the Argonauts, a team from Argos. yeah, why did they have Nicholas Hoult and Mads Mikkelsen and other guy and Liam Cunningham and other people? Those two like Hunter brothers, didn't like them, bin them straight off. And why did they add the Jinn, who were creatures from different mythology and all that sort of stuff as well? Although so is the Kraken. The point is, I understand that they probably needed a couple of red shirts to like die, so they were like, oh no, this is really dangerous for Perseus. But why did they have these like known actors doing these little roles? Liam Cunningham, he's been going through the whole film with his witty little remarks, ha ha ha, he's a cool guy. And then when he dies, you don't even get like a close up on him, he's just like CGI'd off a cliff. Zeus strikes Calibos, King Acrisius maybe, with lightning. He gets all deformed for some reason, although I suppose he might. And then he changes his name from King Acrisius or whatever it was to Calibos. Now that lines up with the 1981 version, but also why would you change your name? Mads Mikkelsen gives Perseus some advice about sword fighting, and it is so bland. It's like, stay focused, keep your balance, know what's around you. That doesn't help, mate. And why are Perseus and Mads Mikkelsen, whose character probably had a name, the only two awake when Perseus sees the Pegasus and gets his cool lightsaber? Because it's bright sunshine at the time, so why is everyone else asleep? Why is Zeus, presumably, the one giving Perseus these gifts to help him on his journey, when he apparently doesn't care about the quest anyway? Because he doesn't even know that Hades has kind of betrayed him at this point. Hades vomits some power into Calibos' face. And then, presumably, that's the reason when he gets his hand chopped off, it turns into a scorpion, and his blood also makes scorpions. We're all on the same page about that. Then, the scorpions, when they are stabbed and they die, why doesn't their blood make more scorpions? Doesn't make any sense. And the scorpions also spend a lot of time like knocking people away instead of just stabbing them. Doesn't seem like a very efficient tactic for the scorpions. And there are several instances of unnecessary slow-mo in this film, but the one that really got me was, I think it's Nicholas Hoult throws a spear towards the screen, so 3D and all that cool stuff like that. But he throws it like 10 foot. That didn't need to be in slow motion. The Stygian witches, they predict that Perseus will die, and I'm pretty sure they specifically direct that at him.
Perseus, you will die.
And then he's the only person in the group to survive. Strange. And if you can stab one of these scorpions to death with a regular sword, I don't think that their scales are really the best shields, because they seem like they're not very tough. Also, when the scale is given to Perseus as a shield, it's not set up that, hey look, and the inside of this is really reflective. Cool. It just is when he's in the old cave thing. The stupid characters that I didn't like the many soldiers and the Hunter brother types and the Jinn, why introduce them if they're just going to leave anyway? I don't understand what the point of those was. And there are so many travelling landscape shots in this film that it's unreal. What was with when they are waiting for the carrying the ferryman, Perseus like flips a coin and then there's a dramatic grab the coin. Why was that? Why doesn't the Jinn just go blah 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 blah? Because he doesn't speak English, but like Io understands him or whatever. How does Calibos sneak up behind Io when Perseus is looking right at her, and she's out in the open, so he must have been like crawling on the floor directly behind her in her shadow, then to stand up and then like stab. It was very strange. It's not so much the magic sword that helps Perseus defeat Calibos, it's the fact that he's doing flip kicks and stuff. Did the sword let him do that? I don't know. Io's dying, sad times, and Perseus says to her like, all my life you've been there, because he's Australian. All my life you've been there. You didn't leave me, and I can't leave you. Don't know if he was South African or Australian or something weird. But the weird thing is, Perseus didn't know that Io was looking out for him his whole life. He's just got her word on that. So maybe that should have been established throughout. And also, what's with the weird sexual chemistry between those two? Because isn't she, I think in the myth she's like his great grandma or something like that, but not involved in this, but isn't she like well older than him? It's mentioned at least 3 times that looking Medusa in the eye will turn you to stone. Fair enough, that's been established, thank you. It doesn't turn the djinn into stone. Okay, maybe it's because he's a man made of wood. I'll allow that. But it is not established that her magic stone turning powers will work even when she's dead. So I would have greatly appreciated it if they chop off Medusa's head and Perseus goes to defeat the Kraken and he's like, ah, and then it just smushes him because Medusa's head is dead and doesn't turn things to stone. Why is there so much sunlight in the climax of the film when there's supposed to be an eclipse? Doesn't make any sense. Perseus falls about 50 feet and lands in a fire pit, then just walks off somehow. And why do Perseus and Andromeda wash up on a beach nowhere near the city that they fell into the water right next to? Doesn't make any sense. Rating out of 5 beers, I would give this a 5 out of 5. Get blackout drunk and then maybe a little bit good times. Also, I can't be sure, but I'm pretty sure that Perseus was wearing trainers in a couple of scenes. But there you go. Anyway, bye.